Okay, hello again, my friends. I hope you're doing well. Well, today we're going to talk about a very important thing. Have you seen that in the recent decades, there are lots of scientists, and they are very, very big scientists at the same time they're atheists and they do not believe in God. And when you talk to these people, they say that God does not exist. We do not have any evidence for the existence of the God. All right, let's talk about it. So, I'm going to answer this question: where did God come from? This is a kind of philosophical question, all right? And before I actually talk about it, I just want to say that the existence of the God is being proven by Greek philosophers, specifically after Socrates. Socrates believed in the God. Although he was 500 years before Jesus Christ, he didn't know what it is in the Bible because there was no Bible in that time. So he actually used his wisdom to understand that there should be a God who created the universe, and that God is not touchable. It cannot be seen, but there is a God. Okay, and then his student Plato also proved the existence of the God in another way, and then the most powerful philosopher in this area, I mean, for proving the existence of the God was Aristotle. And they were big guys, all right? But what happens after 2,500 years? The scientists today say, "Oh, they were wrong. There's no God." They're talking that way. There's no God. There's no evidence for that, right? Example: Stephen Hawking. He did not believe in God. And many other people, many other people, and they are increasing exponentially. So, what is the reason? Do we have any God? And that God is in the sky? Is he living in the sky? Where did God come from? It is an important question. All right, so let me give you an example. Imagine that we see a TV, but we do not know who created the TV. We cannot understand that there's another human being, and that human being created TV for the first time. All right. Then we think, okay, that TV. Maybe we see that there are some movies in the TV. We see different people and say, all right, maybe they're real. Okay. I'm not going to talk about the cave of Plato. If you're interested about this thing, which is a kind of maybe you think that it's a kind of illusion. No, it's not illusion. It's a kind of philosophical fact. Just search the cave of Plato or Plato's cave on Wikipedia. There is a very comprehensive article about it. All right, let's find the God of the TV. But the God of the TV, I mean the person who created television for the first time. Maybe you think that the God of the TV is living inside the TV, and then you try to open the TV. You open the TV, and then you see a couple of boards and some ICs, some transistors, some capacitors, and that's it. And then you see, oh, okay, I could not find the God, so maybe there's no God. So who created that? If there's no God, who created that, right? And then you close the TV, and you say, okay, maybe I can find it in the programs that it's being shown in TV, okay? And you change the channels, and you see different things, and they are not related to each other. One of them is comedy, and the other one is documentary or something like that. And you say, okay, I couldn't find a God, so the God does not exist. And then you say, okay, maybe I did something wrong. I have to investigate more. You open the TV again, and then you see those boards and transistors and cables and those ICs and capacitors and different things, electronic things. All right, and then you go mad, and then you say, "Oh, all right, let's just dive into it." And then you just crash the TV and crash those capacitors, trash thos ICs and transistors, and then you take them to the laboratory, and you watch them closely under the microscope, and again, you cannot find the God of the TV, the God of the television, or the person who created the television for the first time. Say, oh my God, so there is no God. So we have the same thing here in the universe. In philosophy, they prove the existence of the God using logic and mathematics. All right. For example, we have x in mathematics, but we have x plus y. Okay, we have something more than that x. Okay, whatever it will be, it does not matter. Okay, what digit you want to put on that x. We have y plus x. Okay, you cannot say that this digit, I'm sorry, not word, this digit is the end of the mathematics. No, there is always x plus y. And this is that you understand it by your wisdom. Okay, you do not have to, you're not able to experience it. And then you say, okay, I cannot go to infinity. And that is why in the science, in previous video I talked about the differences between knowledge and science. Those scientists that they work in aerospace companies like NASA in the United States and other companies, they say that the universe is infinite. Infinity. Come on, guys. Infinity is something that our mind, our brain, humans cannot understand what infinity is. Whenever we talk about infinity, you think, okay, infinity is something that we just go far away, and we go, and there's no end for that. But this is something that you say by your mouth. You cannot understand it. You cannot understand what infinity is. At the same time, many of those people who studied some kind of abstract knowledges and not science, okay, like mathematics, they say that universe is not infinite. It should be finished at some point, all right? We don't know exactly, but the logic says it cannot go forever. There is no infinity in the universe. This is what knowledge says. Why? Because if we just continue to infinity, then we will stuck into the loop. This is what philosophy says, all right? If you are stuck into the loop, the only thing that your mind and the wisdom and logic and reasoning can understand is that it is wrong. You cannot stay in a loop forever. If you stay in a loop forever, then you are out of time. And then you are out of time, then the story is completely changed, all right? So if we put the time away and then we look at the story again, all right, then we should redefine everything. But we are stuck into the time, all right? And in this time that we are stuck in, we cannot stay in the loop forever. And that forever has the same meaning of infinity. We have the same thing in the word. In order to find the God of the universe, it is similar to the God of the TV that I just uh, talked about it a few minutes ago. The God of the universe is the person who created the time, space, and matter. By time, you know what I mean. I mean uh, future, present, past. All right. By space, I mean geographical directions. And by matter, I mean material, substances, masses, liquid, gas, and solids. These are matters. And all of these things are created by the God. When did he create the universe? This question is wrong because we're talking about the time. When we say when, we're talking about the time. Then we say, okay, I don't know, billions of billions of billions of light years ago. Okay? We're talking about the time, but the time is something that God created. Or we say, when did God come from? We're talking about location. Oh my God, location is also created by the God Himself. Or we say, how did God create the universe? We are talking about the substance, we're talking about the matter, we're talking about gas, liquid, and solid. Again, all of these are created by the God. So the God who created All these things, the God who created the time, the God who created um, the time, the matter, and the space, it should be outside the time and matter and space. So the God that we're talking about, the God that I personally worship, the God that is mentioned in the books like Bible, Torah, Quran, is the God that it is not in the time, it is not in the matter, it is not in any kind of locationless God, timeless God. Yeah, that is the God that I understand. All right. Although I didn't want to talk about the religion, but religion says what the philosophy says. Okay. But those philosophers were talking about all these things before Christianity or Islam or these religions. All right. So they use the wisdom. All right. They didn't use the religions. Okay. But the religion says the same thing. But sometimes I agree in these books. When we read these books, we observe some kind of physical approaches that they try to actually relate it to the God, and that is the reason that the audience are humans. And normal humans, ordinary humans, and not talking about the philosophers or wise people, um, cannot understand it. All these questions are wrong questions, and we are probably thinking about the wrong God, I can say. All right? Because the God should be outside the things that he created himself. The God should be outside the time. The God should be outside the matter. The God should be outside the space. If he is inside the time, then he is limited. He's limited to the time. You do agree that the time has limitation. Am I right? We will all die one day. We have limitation. Even for uploading video on YouTube, I have some limitations. I cannot stay here forever and talk for you forever. Okay, the battery of my camera will die. We have limitation, and God is changeless. He does not change. According to Aristotle, God is a non-moving mover. It means that he makes changes in everything, but he does not change himself. When Aristotle says that the God does not change himself, it means that he is not in the space, he is not in the time, he is not in the matter. So we cannot find the God in the time or in the matter or in the space.